According to recent reports, Russian forces are said to be preparing to deploy 5 heavy artillery brigades in Ukraine. These brigades will be armed with potent artillery pieces, specifically the 2 S-4 Tyulpan and 2 S-7 Pion. These heavy artillery units will be integrated into Army Corps and combined arms formations. Their activities are reportedly focused in the Zaporizhian area of Ukraine. But what exactly prompts Russian forces to deploy the world's most potent conventional artillery systems? By the end of 2022, the Russian Ministry of Defense revealed its ambitious plan to create 5 additional artillery divisions. This initiative raises concerns, not only regarding the procurement of adequate artillery pieces for these formations, but also concerning the substantial challenge of meeting the extensive ammunition requirements for such a large artillery force. The demand is underscored by the fact that a single artillery division necessitates a minimum of 25,000 shells daily. When extrapolated to 5 divisions and considering the ammunition needs of the broader Russian artillery, it becomes evident that a considerable logistical challenge looms. In response to these challenges, it appears that the Russian military command has opted for a strategic compromise between their aspirations and the pragmatic limitations of their resources. Instead of proceeding with the original plan to establish artillery divisions, they have chosen to introduce an alternative force structure in the form of heavy artillery brigades. This adaptation suggests a practical response to the observed difficulties in maintaining and sustaining conventional artillery units. So, is ammunition a critical problem for the Russian military? The question of ammunition scarcity remains largely answered by the Russian Federation, and no concrete evidence of such a situation has been observed. While there have been claims and concerns about ammunition shortages in the Russian military, especially in the face of ongoing conflicts, the situation is not entirely clear. There are some factors suggesting that ammunition might not be a critical problem. Number 1. Production efforts. The Russian military-industrial complex has reportedly been actively producing ammunition despite facing sanctions and restrictions. In defiance of Western restrictions on the export of military equipment and essential components, Russia has significantly increased the production of weaponry across various categories. This includes the manufacturing of drones and cruise missiles, as well as combat vehicles and artillery. Number 2. Stockpiles. According to foreign intelligence, Russia has amassed a substantial stockpile of artillery ammunition, with estimates reaching 4 million units. However, these figures are often based on observations of open warehouses, and the quantity of ammunition stored indoors is not always known. Finally, external suppliers. There are reports indicating that North Korea may be discreetly supplying artillery ammunition to Russia, potentially alleviating some concerns about shortages. It is suggested that the first 350,000 munitions have already arrived in Moscow from Pyongyang. However, it is noteworthy that the true situation may be more nuanced, and it is essential to consider that specific details about military capabilities and ammunition stocks are often classified. Monitoring the situation through reliable news sources and official statements can provide a more accurate understanding of the current state of ammunition availability in the Russian military. Then, what are the Pion and Tyulpan systems Russian forces want to deploy, and how many of them do they have? The 2 S-7 Pion, also known as Peony or Malka, is a Soviet self-propelled 203mm heavy artillery system. It was first observed in 1975 in the Soviet Army. The 2 S-7 Pion utilizes a specially designed chassis, partially based on the T-72 and T-80 designs, to carry an externally mounted 2A-44 203mm gun positioned at the rear of the hull. This artillery system is known for its long-range capabilities and significant firepower. Its projectiles are utilized alongside two bag charges for propelling, and the muzzle velocity upon firing is 960 meters per second. On the other hand, the Russian Tu-S4 Tyulpan or Tulip is commonly linked with the 240mm F864 mortar rounds. The mortar operates using a primary cartridge fixed within the tail. The ammunition for this mortar includes bagged supplementary propelling charges, which are known for their vulnerability to damage. Therefore, caution is advised during handling to avoid any spills of propellant. For packaging and storage, both Pion and Tyulpan are arranged in a wooden rack system, resembling those commonly used for Soviet aerial bombs. According to the military balance sheet of 2021, the Russian military possessed 40 units of Tu-S4 Tyulpan and 60 units of Tu-S7 Pion at that time. It is evident that these specific pieces of artillery comprise the armament of the 45th Heavy Artillery Brigade. Besides that, looking at the data available for 2023, it indicates a significant increase in the Russian Army's stockpile, with up to 200 units of Tu-S7 Pion and a similar count of Tu-S4 Tyulpan. Even considering potential attrition, this substantial quantity could potentially serve as the foundation for the development of additional heavy artillery brigades by the Russian military. The Tu-S4 Tyulpan divisions are anticipated to launch offensives, targeting the defensive structures of Ukrainian troops. Meanwhile, the Tu-S7 Pion divisions are expected to participate in counter-battery operations against Ukrainian 155mm artillery. Would counter-battery combat be a solution? Counter-battery combat refers to military operations and strategies aimed at neutralizing or suppressing enemy artillery and missile systems. The primary objective is to protect one's own forces, infrastructure, and civilian populations from the destructive capabilities of enemy artillery. This type of combat involves detecting, tracking, and engaging enemy artillery units to minimize their effectiveness on the battlefield. The incorporation of these heavy artillery units into the Russian forces undoubtedly enhances their firepower, posing an increased threat. However, in modern conflicts, counter-battery combat has evolved with advancements in technology, including the use of unmanned aerial vehicles, satellites, and sophisticated radar systems to enhance detection and tracking capabilities. The effectiveness of counter-battery measures can significantly impact the overall dynamics of a conflict, influencing the balance of power on the battlefield. Notably, there is speculation about the integration of drone units to enhance precision in shooting, representing an advancement in warfare technology. So do you think that Ukraine will be able to counter the strikes of Russian Tyulpan and Pion? Leave your comment below. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.